How you doing, sir? Your name, please?
Uh, Sherman Brown.
All right. Good afternoon. The court is calling case number 2504-536401. The people of the state of Michigan versus Sherman Ray Brown. All right. Appearances, please.
Thank you, Magistrate. Steve Vincent for the people.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, Mr. Vincent. Miguel Brick on behalf of Mr. Brown appearing today via Zoom. Mr. Brown was advised and does understand his constitutional rights. He waives a full reading of the complaint. Today it's new to respectfully request that this court enter a not guilty plea on his behalf.
All right. Then the court will enter not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Brown. Bond recommendation, Mr. Vincent.
Magistrate, this is in full transparency to this court. I wasn't even going to show up on this case. This is a completely toxic relationship between the defendant and the complaining witness. The complaining witness right now is a defendant in a case against this defendant for felonious assault with an R&O. And now we have this defendant being charged with an FA because he actually, I mean, he isn't being charged with the FA, with the DV. He could be charged with an FA because that food processor he took into his hands, he used that to bust it over the complaining witness's head. And I have pictures, to support that. But I mean, they just want to hurt each other. So I'm not going to protect one or the other here. They just keep going back to each other. I wanted you to have that. I'm not objecting to a personal bond. I'm not even going to say a no contact because apparently they just find each other over and over and over again. That's not going to work. So we'll let them figure it out. I mean, that's my position. Magistrate, I think you may have to take a different position just based on the idea that he's being charged right now, but it's just toxic and it's not stopped. And it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. So.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Brickle, your response.
Thank you, Mr. Vincent, for your candor. Judge, just for the record, for you to have that record, I would recommend a personal bond on the matter. Mr. Brown understands what's going on. He understands what addresses he is and is not allowed to go to. He understands not to have any contact with the complaining witness. He is self-employed at the moment. He does home improvement, and he's committed to resolving this. I would ask for a personal bond on the matter. As far as I am aware from the information that I have, this seems to be the first domestic violence offense that he has had. I think a no contact order would suffice, and a personal bond, a reasonable personal bond would be just fine.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Brown, so the court is concerned that you two have like cross complaints against one another, criminal cases going. And I don't know what's happening here, but the court is going to impose a no contact provision. So you can't have any contact with Miss Mitchell, and probably she has the same condition on the case against you. So, you two just need a breather at this point. You're also not to possess or purchase any firearms or any other dangerous weapons. Now, as far as this living situation, are they at the same location or not?
Judge, I submit to you, my client indicated to me that the Curtis address is his home, it's his family home. He has some reason to believe that Ms. Mitchell would indicate that being her residence as well. If the people have that as her residence, me and him already discussed that he needs to find somewhere else to live. And he indicated to me that if it's an issue, he will stay at his sister's house instead of that Mitchell address. So I just would like to tell you that. And lastly, Judge, I'm sorry, Mr. Brown really wanted me to let you know he's going to Northwestern Tech for HVAC school. He has his midterm. He's soon to graduate. We just wanted me to make sure you knew that about him.
Okay, great. So I'm glad you're getting the education. But you got to learn how to deal with conflict too, okay? Because these situations spiral out of control and they can become they are dangerous and toxic. And the injuries could be more severe than what happened here. So, but anyway, sir, court is going to set a personal bond in the amount of $10,000. The court is not going to impose a tether. But Mr. Vincent, were you aware whether or not Ms. Mitchell was prohibited from going back to the location on her case, if you know?
I don't know about the specific whether or not there was no contact with the address. I assume it was with the defendant. I mean, at that point, and if that's the defendant's residence or if they were sharing it, then I mean, Wouldn't that be ironic? You order a no contact, both of them have a no contact with the address. I mean, that's really what we're down to at this point. I
Well,
mean,
that's why I was trying to determine
Yeah,
whether or not, if
yeah.
it was already one for her not to go
No,
there, since it appears to be his family home.
unfortunately,
then
I
would've-
can't. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't help you with that one. You know what? They kind of lost me after I ended up finding these, these two cross complaints against one another. I just said, you know what? I'm checking out of this one.
I know though, but it is a concern for the court. Are we able to run a register of actions on Ms. Mitchell and see if that's well, do we have a case number on the other file, Mr. Vincent, a case number?
I can,
Mr.
fi- I
Mitchell.
can,
Ms.
I can
Mitchell.
find something. Magistrate, if you really want me to find, I can find something for you.
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. We have conditions and neither one of them go to a house. But if she already has that condition and she's not there and it's his family home, then
Listen,
not gonna
I
bring-
can appreciate where you're coming from. You're the last word. I mean, I think you can appreciate where I'm coming from, but let me see what
Oh,
I
I
can do
do.
for you. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna put her name in right now. Okay, so I have on her address in the other case, all right, I'm just pulling, I'm sorry, magistrate, it's just taking me a minute to go through all
Oh,
of
go ahead.
them. Okay.
She's the last male, then we have one female after this, so it's okay. I would rather get it right.
I have her on the other case at a Trinity address.
Okay.
And I have this defendant at a Curtis address.
Okay, all right then. So I'm not gonna impose that condition, but you're not to have any contact with Ms. Mitchell. All right, is that clear? All right, let me write this one out. Okay. Okay, all right then, Mr. Brown. All right, that's a $10,000 personal bond, and you have a pretrial scheduled for June the 5th. That'll be at 8:30 before Judge Garrett. That'll be in person. So in addition to not having any contact with her, you may not possess or purchase a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You understand the bond conditions and your next court date? Okay, all right, then that concludes this matter.
All right, thank you, magistrate.
Thank you for the extra. Okay, there she is. Ms. Foster,
Yes.
how are you?
Okay.
Okay. You okay? All right. All right, so does your client, have you had a chance to talk to her?
Yes, I've had a chance to speak with Ms. Foster.
All right. So Ms. Foster, can you state your full name for the court?
Foster.
All right. Court is calling case number 2504536601. The people of the state of Michigan versus Kamisha Danielle Foster. Can we have your appearances, please?
Lisa Coyle, appearing on behalf of the people.
Judge Miguel Rico, appearing on behalf of Ms. Foster, who is appearing today via Zoom. Ms. Foster has been advised and understands her constitutional rights, waives the full reading of the complaint, stands mute, and respectfully requests that this court enter a not guilty plea on her behalf.
Okay, then the court will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Ms. Foster, and the court wants some clarification based upon information that I read that your client is not under any medication or anything at this time.
Judge, based on my interview with my client, she indicates taking medication that's, I believe, not medically necessitated, or maybe for other purposes.
Does she understand you? It's not impairing her ability to understand the
Not her
court.
ability to understand me. Our discussion with each other in the interview was a little bit complicated. I do believe there may be a cognitive disconnect between our conversation. And I do understand that at the jail, she's on a suicide watch.
Okay. So, Ms. Foster, did you state your position as it relates to the arraignment?
Would you like me to judge or for this court?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Um,
arraignment.
Yeah, she stands mute, and that's a not guilty.
Okay, all right. Oh, I might have that to not get the clip. If I didn't, I'll do that. And let's go. Do you have any additional information related to Ms. Foster? These are serious charges, but there does appear to be some other issues going on.
Did you enter a plea of not guilty? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, it is obviously a mental issue here, but the court needs to arraign her in order to attach jurisdiction. So I think at this point we should move forward. And if the defense counsel, I trust that he has spoke to her and he's an officer of the court, and we're ready to go forward.
Yes,
Okay,
we-
you
we-
okay with
we
that?
conducted a competent interview. I can competently represent this fine.
Okay. All right then. So I believe I stated it, Ms. Coyle, but the court will enter the not guilty plea. Rather have it done twice than not at all. And what's your recommendation as it relates to bond? Ms.
Your Honor,
Coyle?
in this matter, it is highly assaultive. I am going to request a 5,000 cash surety with a tether in this matter. Ms. Foster allegedly grabbed the buttocks of a 36th District Court security officer on her way to work. This was not the first time she assaulted the complainant in this matter. She had assaulted allegedly the complainant 2 to 3 months prior. She has an assaultive background. She admits to grabbing her.
Never assaulted that woman in my life.
Ms. Foster, we discussed it. Please don't speak.
Assault is a very strong word. I was flirting. Assault is way too strong for what I'm doing to her. That is flirting. She assaulted me, but I was there.
Ms. Foster, please.
Ms. Foster.
Okay, very
Ms.
well.
Foster.
Let
That's
me
so rude. Don't just say I'm assaulting her and I wouldn't dare do that to a woman.
Okay, Ms. Foster.
her
Okay,
convictions
hold on,
are a
Ms. Coyle.
2020 assault and battery, a 2022 attempt resisting and obstructing, 2022 refusal obey a traffic order, and 2023 assault of a prison employee. She was sentenced in January 24, did 6 months in the Wayne County Jail. This was Third Circuit, obviously. And that's why I'm asking for, obviously, a competency exam will be necessary probably in the next hearing before the court. So for those reasons, Your Honor, highly assaultive background, and I'm asking for that 5,000 cash surety with a tether to ensure safety to the complainant as well as appearance. Thank you.
Okay, your response, Mr. Brico.
With respect to this court and to Ms. Coyle, Judge, Ms. Foster is homeless. If she were to get a tether, she would have nowhere to tether to. In our discussions together, we tried our best to come to a mutual understanding that I'm working on her behalf, not against her behalf, and I hope she sees that. I would suggest that any amount of bond is unaffordable for Ms. Foster. She has no income. She has no employment. She's in a situation where, when asked where she lives, she gave me 2 crossroads. It's unfortunate, and this is a reality for a lot of people in the city, and it's unfortunate that Ms. Foster is here. I don't think that pretrial detention, because any amount of bond in this will be an effective pretrial detention for her. I don't think it's necessary or it's going to help us in the situation. She clearly needs to get help that's not going to be in jail. She needs to get help from a mental health evaluator and from other mental health professionals, and it's apparent. And I would ask for you to grant a personal bond. I know given the prior history, that is a far reach. It's just something that I'm going to have to advocate for my client. I don't think her staying at jail right now is beneficial to her mental health. And I just see her accruing more problems along that she's in there. I kindly would and respectfully request a personal bond in the matter, no tether due to the tether situation.
All right, so there's an address that's on the pretrial release order on Gilchrist, but she didn't provide an address at all to you?
No, Judge, and even the address that I see for, I don't see an address on the complaint for her, to be honest.
Okay. So I was looking at a pretrial order. You don't have a copy of that.
Okay, yeah, I don't have that, so.
So it
She
doesn't
did-
look like she has a place to tether to.
No, she did indicate, a church that is on, Rush Street in Gresham Avenue. There's a church around there that I guess her and some peers congregate by. I don't know if that's something this court would consider, but yeah, there would be a retaliation to. And in that case, I would only be requesting a personal bond.
Okay. All right. So Ms. Coyle, it's difficult to impose a tether when she has nowhere to tether to, but the court does feel that there's some sort of cash surety bond that should be imposed, not because of necessarily her mental health, but I am concerned based upon what I'm reading that she may not appear in court. Furthermore, the actions that are alleged here is not just one occasion, but another occasion, and these could have been more serious charges, but for certain words not being uttered, we could have sexual conduct charge, criminal sexual conduct charge versus just assault and battery. With that, the court is going to impose a $5,000 cash surety bond. Now, and so I'm not gonna pull a tether because she has nowhere to tether to. But, hold on. Oh, you wanted to say something else, Mr. Brico?
Yes, that amount would be unaffordable. My client, the amount of bond would be unaffordable.
Okay, so Ms. Foster, turn around and listen, so the court's talking to you, okay? All right, ma'am. The court is gonna impose a cash surety bond in the amount of $5,000. While you're on bond, if you post the bond, you're not to have any contact with the officer in this case. I'm not gonna air the name because we're on Zoom, but it'll be on your paperwork, okay? And you're not to flirt, as you call it, or have any contact with that officer. Is that understood? Okay, I believe it said yes, ma'am, even though it wasn't audible, I was able to read her lips. Okay. Then you have a court date, June the 5th. That will be by Zoom before Judge Bryant, okay? That will be at 8:30 by Zoom before Judge Bryant. And the court finds that that's bond by clear and convincing evidence that she, you know, she does pose a danger. You can't just go around touching people, allegedly. And then concerned about whether or not she'll appear in court. So it's two factors there the court is considering. All right, with that, that concludes this matter. All right, good luck, Ms. Foster.
Ms. Foster, I know you mentioned that you had a phone internet connection. You are allowed to come in person.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more crazy court hearings like this one.